Hello, and welcome back to Bookish Chaos. I'm Shay, and today we are talking about Onyx Storm and empyrean theories in general. Oh, there will be no editing this video, so hopefully I don't say and I don't do any weird breathing into this microphone because all of my editing software is not cooperating. Okay, first one. I don't have them in like a these happened in fourth wing in this order kind of a situation. I just have them all compiled in a way that they came to me. So, common language change at the beginning of the books. The beginning of the books have all of the history was faithfully transcribed by Justinian Neilwart from Navarian into the common language, which leads me to believe A, they defeat the Venom totally, and it's no longer a problem at the end of the series, or B, they just find a way to encompass everyone into the wards, so they come up with a new language that isn't Pormelian and isn't Navarian. Bodhi looks like Zayden comments that happen constantly. So either Bodhi is going to be like a great betrayer because he's going to be like the antithesis of Zayden, which I would hate, but could happen. Or Bodhi is actually Zayden's secret brother because you cannot have that many comments from Zayden saying, I don't have any siblings. I wonder if this is what having siblings is like all the time. I'm glad I don't have any siblings. That much and it not be important. So my theory is that he is not related to Zayden via their mother, that he is maybe Fen Ryerson's second son, and he, I don't know, gave him to his sister to be raised or something like that. Pop and Sorengale's research. We know that they are starting at Basgiath, so is she going to go get his research, which we know that she knows where it is, because in Fourth Wing, her and Zayden meet Commandant Panchak, her mom, and Daddy Atos while they're going up to the flight field. And she tells them she doesn't know where it is, but she tells us that she does know where it is. So why didn't she go get it in Fourth Wing? I don't know. To add drama. But I think that it is going to tell actual truths about the Second Crovelin Uprising, which happened 200 years ago. Therefore, Colonel Markham did not write down the truth. He fucked with the histories. And also, did he find the cure for venenism? Is it something to do with the Seventh Dragon Den or Feathertail based? Because he was before his death writing a book on Feathertails. Second wing is shifty as fuck, which is just kind of common knowledge. All rider assassins in Iron Flame were from second wing. And is it Daddy Atos who is controlling them? Are they all secretly venom? We don't know. This leads into Dane because Dane started in second wing. He tells Ree in Iron Flame in fourth wing that he is the squad leader, Flame Section, second wing. So he was originally in second wing for a whole year. He has obviously been under Daddy Atos's control's not the right word. Tutelage, raising, because he's his dad. So we get Calf's breath is brought up in the beginning of Iron Flame, and that it's really bad and she needs to check his teeth. And as far as I can remember, the only other dragons whose breath gets commented on is Bade and Solus, Varish, and Jack's dragons. And Jack is for sure Venom, and it is theorized that Varish was. So do I think that Dane is Venom? No, my real thought is we don't know what Daddy Atos' signet is. Could it be a mind signet, and could he be controlling Dane? Could he be controlling all of Second Wing? Because we don't know what it is. I think that Dane may very possibly involuntarily betray them, and it wouldn't be his fault. I don't think I put that in the right spot, but oh no, there it is. In chapter 3 of Fourth Wing, Lilith says every Sorengale is a writer. So is Daddy Sorengale not a Sorengale? Because he was a scribe. And I think that he was not a Sorengale. He did not take her name because he didn't want, the legacy of being a Sorengale. Please stop running into that. Thank you. Hi, yes, you're adorable. Get down. Get down. I do think that we have learned his name. I think he is the author of one of the books and one of the epigraphs, more specifically from chapter 18. Fourth Wing, there is nothing more sacred than the archives. Even temples can be rebuilt. The books cannot be rewritten. Colonel Daxton's Guide to Excelling in the Scribe Quadrant. I think that Daddy Sorengale was Colonel Daxton. And Darna brings up that loving a second home is hard to love. Like the first is her first home, the Isle Kingdoms, ? And are the other seventh dragon den on the Isle Kingdoms? Andarna says they left her, not that they died off. And that only the elders know what she is. So I think they also know where the seventh dragon den is. Xaden's mom. Where is she? Who is she? I like both theories that she is Pormelian and in Pormel somewhere, which would partially explain the alliance between him and Kat, the marriage alliance. But what I also like is because we know that her and Fen did not have a good relationship. She stayed until Xaden was 10 because according to the marriage contract, she had to stay until they had a viable heir that was 10 years of age. So the other theory that I like a lot more is that she's actually in Caldir and loyal to Navarre, and that she had an unhappy alliance / marriage to Fen because she didn't agree with him wanting to save Pormel because she is Team Navarre. We have General Daramore, who has been mentioned in both books. It was the old general that destroyed the barons and is a Venin, obviously. The theory is that General Daramore is the leader of the Venin and is still alive, even though that was 600 years ago, which is kind of a far-fetched theory, but we don't know that much about Venin. Maybe pulling from the source can extend their life. We don't know. Craftsmanship of the box that Garrick found in Ressin. So, if we remember, Garrick's dragon could sense something, and that was what the Venin were after. And we find out that it was a Venin lure. And that this lure was Navarrian in craftsmanship. So, did Daddy Atos lure the Venin there to kill Xaden and the rest of the crew? I think yes. Did my wilder, a little bit more crack theory is that Navarrians are planting lures in Pormel to have the Venin attack specific places in Pormel. Nausea always sleeping outside of the archives. He's supposed to be guarding the archives door, but like every time you see Nausea, he's sleeping. And is he being snuck a sleeping potion? Could it be the Venin inscribed robes that we get in the excerpt from Cosmopolitan? Could it be Markham, who is obviously evil since he is single-handedly responsible for writing Navarre, an unedited history, which is clearly a fully edited history? Orange dragons. And the connection that certain people have with their orange dragons, who I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, are all orange club tails. They are the most unpredictable of dragons. And who has them? Jack, Varish, Professor Carr, and Brennan. Brennan motherfucking Sorengale. Lieutenant Colonel Aeserai. Brennan is super sus. So not only does he have the evil people dragon, he also has that rune-shaped scar on his hand. He has this weird connection to Naelin, and he won't talk about how he is actually alive. He just says that Naelin gave up everything. He doesn't actually say what happened. He doesn't talk to anybody about it, and it's stupid, and I'm super sussed out by Brennan. Naelin! Were him and Brennan lovers, which is the most common theory. I could see it, but I disagree a little bit. There's another theory. Did Naelin actually die, or is he a Venin? I could see both happening. I could. But another possibility, because Taryn won't speak about Naelin, is, was Naelin pulling from the source? Was Naelin going to die? Did Taryn have to kill Naelin to break their bond? Is that why Taryn doesn't want to talk about him? Because he had to kill him? Does he not want to talk about him because he knows that he's Venin and he had to sever that bond? So many theories, so many questions. I hope we get to know what happened to Naelin, and I hope that we get to find out about Brennan's resurrection in this book. Oh, also, was Naelin a secret brother? Which I like instead of him and Brennan being together. I like the fact that could he have secretly been like a love child of Daddy Sorengale, right? And so that would make Violet bonded to a direct ancestor's dragon, which could give her 3 signets instead of 2. Because can Andarna actually give a signet if she's not fully grown? We don't know what the limitations of dragons giving signets are because we don't know enough about the Empyrean because we are humans and they are humans and they don't learn. I don't see how Andarna could provide her a signet if Andarn is not fully grown. So I'm curious if she's going to have 3 signets, and is it because Naolin was actually their brother and Brandon knew about it? Violet's second signet, there's many theories. Distance wielder, intrinsic, truthsayer, knowledge wielder. I'm leaning more towards truthsayer and knowledge wielder. I'm leaning towards it has to do with her scribe-ness. So I don't think it's a distance wielder because that's a little more physical. I do think, honestly, that Arik, Greycastle, Tari will be our first distance wielder in hundreds of years. Speaking of Arik, we know that Violet had 2 exes and they are hinted to be infantry. We know that the royalty of Navarre, whether they are just a duke or higher, cannot be riders like Fen Ryerson was in the infantry. So is Arik's older brother Halden an infantry member? Do I think he's graduated already? Yes, I do. But we know that Halden knows about the venom because Arik says, "Why do you think I'm here?" When she says, "Does your brother know about it?" And so did Halden send him? And is Halden one of Violet's exes? I think yes, and I think we're going to get to meet him. Listening to the Fantasy Fangirls podcast, someone brought up that they think King Tari is going to die in this book, and then maybe Halden will become king. Maybe Arik will become king. I don't really like the idea of Arik becoming king, but I do think that Halden could be. So yes, I think that they were together, and I think that she was told that she was not good enough for a prince, and that's where her obsession with Kat being in the line of succession for the Pormelian throne, like when she saves her from Solus, and Xaden's like, "Why would you do that?" And she's like, "She's third in line," and he's like, "You saved her because she's third in line for the Pormelian throne," and she's like, "Yes," but also she feels inferior to Xaden a lot, and it's not just because of power. It's because the more that she learns about him, the more she feels inferior for him as not a good choice, because she maybe was told at one point, "You're not good enough for a prince, you're not good enough for aristocracy." And what is Xaden? Xaden is the unofficial Duke of Tyrrendor. He is the unofficial Duke of Erasia because his dad was Duke of Erasia. So maybe because he is technically an aristocrat, he is technically in the aristocracy, does she feel inferior because of her relationship with Halden and being told that she wasn't good enough? I think yes. And finally, I need all of you to comment down below what you think Garrick's signet is. I have no idea. I hope we find out in Onyx Storm, because Garrick is such an important part of like the group, and we have no fucking idea what his signet is. I have no idea. I haven't seen anything in all of my deep diving that gives me any hint to what his signet could be. But I think that Garrick does know secretly in his own head that Xaden is an intrinsic. But I think that's more just because he knows Xaden than because it has something to do with his signet. But leave a comment down below on what you think Garrick's signet is, and I will see you guys next time. I'm so excited it comes out at midnight, and then we can just yippee yappy about it, and I'm so excited, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.